Hey everybody, welcome to another podcast. This podcast we will be speaking about God of High School episode 3. If you're not aware, we covered episode 1 and 2 last week Thursday. We will be doing this podcast every Thursday, so tune in, put your comments in there, let us know what you think of the podcast and let us know what you think of the anime as well. Today we will be joined with a few guests and we have a new guest here. So without further ado, let me introduce introduce him to the stream. Hey, Dwayne, welcome to the podcast.
Yes, thank you, Don. It is a pleasure to grace my
Yeah,
presence on your podcast.
yes, a pleasure is mine as well. So,
Mhm.
well, we are supposed to be joined with some other guests, but we will start out the stream,
Okay,
and
that's
they will
cool.
join us later. So,
Hmm.
um, let me just set up settings.
Okay.
Okay, done. So,
Hmm.
um, since you were not there for the first podcast, I would just like to
Hmm.
hear your thoughts on God of High School episode 1 and 2.
One and two. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, you know me already, bro. Like
yeah.
I go straight to the point. I'm very honest. Honestly, it was I'll just start by saying like God of High School was a recommendation. A good friend of mine he recommended it to me,
yeah.
and like upon looking at the first and second episodes, like it was just corny, bro. It was just corny to me. That was like it was just super corny. It was super what's the word? It was super cliche to me.
It was cliche. Wow,
Yeah. It was
that's a first.
yeah, it was cliche to me because like it was like okay, you have your main character, bad
Yeah.
guy, bad guy opening
Mm,
whatever. So I wasn't
yeah.
really interested.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'll not discredit the entirety of episode two.
Yeah.
Um, I would say what really did it for me was the second half of episode two. The other half, that's
Yeah.
when things really started to pick up for me. But
Oh,
the first episode and
yeah.
the first half of the second episode, it was really just cheese, bro. It
It
wasn't that
was
interesting to me.
it was like typical anime stuff for you.
Yeah. That's what it was like for me.
It's very interesting hearing different people's views about that because last week
Mhm.
one person, well, Lyndon, he said that it started off well for him, uh,
Okay.
and Jamal said it started off a bit slow for him, but it started picking up. So it's
Okay.
interesting to hear that you found that episode episode 1 started off a bit corny, but I'm glad that
Mm-hmm.
it started off good for you. And the thing that I'm happy about is we have different people watching the anime, and if some people might have the same experience as you. So right now, as we're about to discuss episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what you said, maybe you might think that maybe it's finally picking up to where you're actually interested in continuing it. So we'll see what you
Mm-hmm.
say, and based on that, some people might choose to continue or discontinue it. So
Right.
since you were not there the last time, my views on it was it started off like, all I agree, it started off a bit typical, not too typical that it didn't have my interest, but
Okay.
I saw potential. To
Mm.
me, most anime by the first episode, I can tell maybe if I'm going to give it a chance or not.
That's not fair, man. That's not. Do you think that's fair though?
It's okay. When I say I can tell if I'm going to give it a chance or not. I can tell maybe like if it's really really bad, I might just drop it.
Give me an example. Okay, give me an example. Give me an example of a time of an anime and the first episode, bro. The first episode, you just knew it was bad.
Well, the thing is, the anime that I watched that it's been that terrible. It's like it was so terrible that I can't even remember the name. But I will I will just give you an example of like what it was like that just turned me off. Like I think if I don't know anything about the anime, one thing that will probably pull me towards the anime is the cover art. Like
Bro, you're not serious, bro. So you mean to tell me you're going to skip over the plot, the characters, and all that?
No. What I'm saying is, what I'm saying. Okay, usually I'm on a website. Let's say I'm on Crunchyroll or whatever, right? And I have no idea what I'm going to watch, and I'm looking for something new to watch. So it might be the beginning of a season. And so we have a whole list of anime in front of me, and I'm guessing, okay, which one of them will I watch? The first thing that appeals to me is, okay, I'm looking at the cover art, how the art style is, does the character look interesting, and this kind of things. And I don't know, to me, from experience from watching anime so far, it's like usually you can see if like the way the character is, the way it's drawn, the emotion, you can tell if it's going to be crap or not. And I think I've had more hits than misses in that method. In that method. And the second thing I check is the plot. So I give the plot a quick browse and is it interesting? Is it not interesting? Okay, so if the cover art sells it for me, the plot sells it for me, then okay, I'll give the first episode a chance. And then by the way the story goes, the art style is, then I'll decide, okay, should I give this another episode if it didn't catch me one time or not? And if it has enough to give me a little extra pull, then I will say, okay, I'll give it another go. And like I told you, for typical example, Bungo Stray Dogs. I started it off, and it was a bit weird. But I don't want to say anything because I don't think you've watched it before, so I don't want to spoil it too much for you. But it started off, and I was like, okay, but like it wasn't absolutely captivating me at the beginning of the season, but it just had a little something. The cover art, the art style. I'm telling you.
Like every time you mention cover art, I just instantly think music for some reason.
Yeah, like
but good.
Well, maybe I shouldn't say cover art. Maybe I should say thumbnail.
The artwork.
Okay, the artwork. Yeah, but yeah, these things have just been one of the pillars of
the
things
deciding factors.
Yeah, the deciding factors that has led me to, okay, I'll give this a chance. I'll keep on giving it a chance, and then I have been wrong maybe
of course
1 or 2 times, but like I said, I've had more hits than misses. I'm actually just doing some thinking, and I'm thinking that there has been like 1 or 2 that has failed to deliver, but more hits than misses. I have like a 90, at least a 90% track record.
90%. Hey, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, no, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's what I usually go with. And to all, maybe if an anime creator happens to stumble upon this, kill a cover art. I'm telling you. Kill a kill. Maybe
Bro,
I should say
listen.
thumbnail instead. Maybe I should say thumbnail.
Okay. Alright. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. For me, I realize we're two very different people. For me, the thumbnail or cover art, that's like the last thing I look at. I don't even look at the cover art. For me, that is, and first, and I don't even read the plot. I'm a
so you
guy.
Just dive in.
I just dive in, not knowing anything. I skip the summary. I don't look at the summary. I just dive in.
Crazy. Okay, so I can't believe that. You know I can't believe that because let's say you have 10 different anime, right, on a list, and you have to make a decision as to, okay, I don't have time to watch 10 different anime at one time, so I'm going to
but go ahead with your scenario.
So you have a list. Okay, you're on Crunchyroll. Let's go to a more realistic scenario, right? You're on Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll has, okay, I don't want to guess wrong, but it probably has, I don't want to say, let's go with hundreds because I'm not sure if it has thousands. But let's go with hundreds. So hundreds of different anime, right? And you have to choose, okay, which anime will I watch? You can't tell me that you just choose some random anime and just get into it. To me, you have to have something to pull you to that anime. And like, okay, that's the one I'm going to choose.
Okay, well, another deciding factor for me, it would be let me see. I guess the intro.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you the way
that would mean that you would have to have had to click it before you. So that means you would still have had to choose it.
Yeah, but listen. Okay, maybe I can explain by giving a scenario, a prime scenario.
Yeah.
Another scenario, but a truth, like a story.
Yeah.
The way the way I came about to discovering Hunter x Hunter was so crazy. One day I just hopped on Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
And then I just saw it in like one of the recommended anime. And then I just hit the episode on any season and it just instantly pulled me.
Wow. So what you're saying is Crunchyroll's algorithms knew your taste.
Well, yeah. No. It's not even that, because at that point in time, like that was the first time. Time I would have been using Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
I don't usually use Crunchyroll like that. I usually use what's the word? I usually use like offshoots.
Yeah.
So you have like sites specifically streaming that particular anime.
Yeah.
You understand? You know, like
Naruto. Yeah, I understand.
You heard of Naruto Get?
It sounds sort of familiar, but yeah. I get your point.
Okay, yeah. That's how I used to watch my anime. So at the time, it's not even like I gave Crunchyroll a chance to learn my patterns, so they could. Well, so its algorithm can sync with, my likes and dislikes.
Yeah, so, but you just happen to go with one of its recommendations.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I understood. It's just like I know some places have, based on the popularity of it or based on the critical assessment of it, they recommend certain things. So yeah, that makes sense.
Like the
So
general popularity.
yeah. So yes, and the reason why I started God of High School is because of the previous season I was watching Tower of God, which I really enjoyed. So I ended up watching God of High School, and I actually found its artwork interesting as well. So
So let me ask like
yes,
so Tower of God, that's like a prequel to God of High School?
no, it's just made by Webtoon as well. So
Oh,
it's one
okay,
of
okay, okay, okay.
the lineups in Webtoon. So I found it
So
really
would
good.
you so
Would
would
I
you go as
recommend it?
far? Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, for people who prefer the dub version instead of the sub version, I think the dub. I know. More. You're
Hey,
laughing,
bro.
but most I know most serious anime heads, they just go to the sub, but but
Serious anime. Okay, bro.
yeah, but
Mm.
well,
Mm.
or if you want me to say otakus, but but
Mm.
I know some people just prefer to hear things in their own language, and um like I've told you before of our off-air conversations, sometimes
Mhm.
while you're reading, although sometimes when you're reading, it becomes almost
Right.
synonymous with like actually speaking it, because when you're reading it, it's almost like you're hearing them say the words in English. I don't know if you have that experience when
Yeah.
reading subtitles, but sometimes
Mhm.
depending on the type of anime, it might you might just miss certain things, or certain things might be said in a particular context, and because
Mhm.
you're actually listening to it in dub, you might actually get more information than listening to it in sub sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, but usually it is said by most of the anime community that the Japanese voice actors are better. The
Yeah.
dub are horrible, but that's an opinion. Everybody has their
Mm.
opinion.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's just well, yeah, opinion and preference.
yeah, a preference. So
Mm.
for me personally, I don't mind sub, I don't mind dub, but if the dub is not horrible, then why not? I don't try
Okay.
to judge the actors. The guys get paid to do what they do, so I mean, why
Mhm.
not? But yeah,
Okay.
going on to God of High School, episode 1, episode 2. Um, episode 1 felt more like an introduction to the
Mm.
characters.
In fact, let me just interrupt you for a second there,
Yeah,
because that the Tower of God thing. Since you said both of them were made by Webtoon, do
yes,
you think do you think they? Because I've never seen Tower of God, so I'm just asking,
yes.
as an
Mm-hmm.
outsider looking in,
Yeah.
do you think they they fall, or do you think there's a possibility of them
Mm.
being in the same universe?
That's actually a good question, you know. Um, no, I've never thought of it like that, like a Marvel universe kind
Mm-hmm.
of thing. It is
Maybe not.
possible that
Okay.
it could be done, but I'm just saying, like, to me, the vibe I'm getting from it, I would think no, but you never know. You never know. That's the thing. And like,
Then again,
mm, yeah,
it really
that.
depends on
Oh yeah,
execution.
yeah, that's true. But like
Mm.
the concept of how the two anime are structured, Although
Mhm.
God of High School just started, so I mean, it might be a bit too early to have
Well,
these
yeah,
um,
definitely.
concepts in my mind. But from what I've seen so far, from the two of them, they are very different. And actually, looking back at Tower of God, although this is not a Tower of God review, but looking at back at
Mhm.
Tower
Mm,
of
mm,
God,
mm.
it was it was different. It was like the art style,
Mm,
like
mm. Oh yeah,
it,
I've heard so.
yeah, it's a bit, it threw me off a bit, like slightly,
Mm,
not like way over the edge, but it threw me off a bit. I was like, interesting, like and then the
mm,
way it started off, I was like it was a bit strange for me. But then
mm, mm, mm.
the more I watched, the more it started to explain itself, and the more it
Okay.
continued, the more it started to develop into something good. So it's just like some anime. We actually talked about that in the previous podcast. Some anime is just like it doesn't hit you right from the start, like bam out of the gates.
Mm, mm.
But
like Goblin Slayer.
but yeah, some anime
mm,
don't doesn't hit you like that. But like some of them, like I would call it a
mm.
slow burner. When it starts to heat up,
Okay.
it really starts to heat up. And
Right, right, right.
from the well, I was saying from the first episode of um God of High School, it felt more like an intro, um, giving you a slight touch of like what the first characters are, and you got a little hint of like I guess
Mm-hmm.
everybody would have well I can't see it. But I'm guessing like
Mm-hmm.
based on like how they showed particular characters, I could have tell who would have had a part to play in the story later down the road.
Mm-hmm.
So like the guy with the glasses and the book, I could have tell that he would have a part to play later down because
Later. Okay.
you could see
Yeah, you could
a
tell.
slight
Mm-hmm.
difference in like the everybody in the tournament, like certain people
Right,
stood
right,
out.
right. Yeah,
So
the demeanor and. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
by the and you could see it had a bit of humor in it, as well as something underlying that you couldn't just put your foot on, but it was not like the typical. Well, that's
Mm-hmm.
just me. You could see something like
Mm-hmm.
slightly, if you look, it's like it's not a typical anime, but the more you go on, the
Mm-hmm.
more you see it. And like in episode 2, it started to come out a bit more where it started explaining a bit of like what
Mm-hmm.
the whole tournament. Well, it didn't give you too much information, but you
Mm-hmm.
started to see the fight scenes starting to play out. You started to see how the the guy I would call the main character. Um,
Which is the main character for you?
the main character would be the guy with um, would you call that stars in his eyes, or I don't know what kind of
But he is the main character.
yeah, yeah. But
No.
I just like to keep things open ended, just in
Yeah, but I mean, it's not. I think you're probably trying to
mm,
reference Vinland.
yeah,
I
Vinland
feel like
Saga,
that's what I feel like you're trying to reference that, but with that anime, I don't
yeah,
think I cannot. I don't know the way it's paced so far.
yes,
I don't think. Well, I don't. From what I've seen, I don't think is like. I think it's just him as the main character.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, you understand?
yeah, like what I was when I was speaking about the other guys that stood out from the crowd of people that joined the tournament.
Oh, that's what you mean. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I was just giving like putting them in tiers. So like you had these
Okay.
guys that stood out, like the glasses guy, the
Mm-hmm.
guy who was what was he, a martial artist or something? And then you had the other tier where you had the three of them who would seem to be the main characters
Mm-hmm.
in the story, and then you had
Mm-hmm.
the main guy, which I guess we can establish who is the main character of the plot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so but yeah, so I was saying for the second episode, it started to heat up where you started to see you know, that guy giving giving who the fighter who seemed like I don't know if I should call him a villain, but he was I
Mm-hmm.
guess presented in a type of villain. Uh
You're talking
um
about
the
you're
guy who
talking
had his
about the
hands tied
guy
up.
bound. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So
Okay.
yeah, that
Why did
fight
you
was in
say?
huh?
Why did you say presented as a villain? Do you think he's you think or you think he's like you think he's not a villain? That's what you say? Are
No,
you
well
implying that he was
the thing
probably
is
brainwashed? Mm-hmm.
the reason why I said where he was presented as a villain is because you could sense like his energy, like where he was coming from. But then you watch his backstory, and then you could see he was not like the main guy. Like
Mm-hmm.
he was like I don't want to say he was taken advantage of,
Yes, he
but
was.
you know, I said that and the Jada August thing just came to my head.
Bro, wow, that is a can of worms, bro. That is a can of centerpiece, worms, bed whoosh, all kind of
uh,
thing, bro.
but yeah,
Mm.
man. But um, just putting a short thing in there.
You know,
August said he was not taken advantage of, but you know, Joe Biden said he doesn't know he was taken advantage of. So
you know what's funny? You know what's
yeah,
funny?
yeah.
The same villain
Hmm.
is funny because he actually has his hands entangled around himself.
Oh yes, that's true.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
That's tough.
Another form of entanglement.
Man, that's crazy. That's
But
crazy.
yeah,
But
speaking of that, what did you think of the fight with him and should I call him a martial arts guy?
oh,
Yeah.
ooh, boy. To be honest, like, like I'm a guy
Yeah.
who expects the unexpected, and
Mm,
like because I have that mindset, a lot of the time, a lot
yeah.
of things that surprise like the common eye,
Yeah.
it doesn't surprise me. Like I just knew, I just had a mind like
Mm,
from the start of the battle, bro. When the martial arts guy was fight. Well, actually, all of them use a form of martial arts,
yeah.
um, but yeah, we're calling him martial arts guy.
Mm,
And from the time he started, like I could see like from the way he began, like punching, well, throwing out his hits and combos and so on.
yeah.
Like the bounded guy, like he didn't really flinch that much.
Mm,
Like I felt
yeah. You could
like
see
the
it.
first, yeah, like he was giving, like he was throwing punches,
Yeah.
like the martial arts guy, he was throwing punches, giving
Mm,
him, giving it some spice,
yeah.
but then like it wasn't real. It was you like after all that, bro. Like he didn't
Mm,
like you didn't really see any damage on the boundary guy. Like from that point, I knew I was
That's
like,
true.
boy,
Yeah, he's
it's
going to get
like.
whooped. But then
And the thing, and you know the worst thing, and you know the worst thing, he
yeah,
didn't unbound. He didn't even unbound his arms.
yeah, that's true. But
You know, so it was like,
he actually made him remove the
yeah,
arm
yeah,
at a certain point
the
when
one
he
arm.
after he actually, and one thing I liked about that, he actually the martial arts guy showed a bit of fight. He showed a bit of resilience. I was actually afraid
Yeah. I
for
respect
him.
him.
Yeah, I was actually afraid for him because I was afraid they would have killed him. To me, he
Mid
showed
dead
a bit.
already, bro.
Yeah.
Mid, like, probably not physically, but mid probably
Yeah.
that probably just crushed down my spirit, bro.
Yeah. But like that was like I think it set a precedence in the show that people like they can reach a higher level and they don't give up even though they're outmatched, which I found like was
Right.
interesting. And
Mhm.
I found it interesting that the main character interrupted the fight. And I was actually
And he
wondering
was okay.
I was actually wondering what would be the outcome of that because I mean you can't just interrupt the fight, even though it it seemed well it was technically the right thing to do in a way, but not in the rules of the fight. But for taking a moral standpoint, it was the right thing to do. But that was crazy. Like when he dropped that, um, should I call it a spinning kick move?
Oh
That
yeah, the
was
triple kick. Yeah. When I
yeah.
saw that, bro, I actually freak out. I go like, I don't freak out a lot, but
Mm,
that was, and it was the way it was animated. Like it was almost
yeah.
as if the boss had just stopped time, but he didn't, and then he just like landed free kicks while
Yeah.
everything was just still in midair and everybody was watching. So that was really cool to see.
Yeah. So I guess that's that around that point you started to get interested in anime.
Right. Yeah, definitely. In fact, I would say the point I really got interested was um when I saw the matchup with the book guy and he's another martial artist. I don't think get confused.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know the
yeah.
names. Yeah, the guy with the book and the
Mm,
I guess the hard hitter because he really like his attribute seems to be like strength.
yeah.
Like he moves really fast.
Mm,
Sorry, he hits really hard. Sorry.
yeah. So you're
Yeah,
talking
I think
about one
from
of
that point
the
onward.
you're talking about the book guy and one of the free
Yeah,
martial artists, right? The three main
right.
characters. Yeah, so
Main
we're moving
characters.
into
Yeah, I
episode
think
3 right now. Yeah.
right.
Mm,
Yeah, I think from that was not in episode 2. I could have sworn. Okay, well, yeah,
yeah,
it was at
because
that point
yeah.
I really started to really get interested.
Yeah, so it sounds like you started getting interested in episode 2, but episode 3 was where it really captured you.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, if you're hearing
Definitely.
this, if you're not into this by episode 3, get out of this anime.
Since you mentioned that to me,
Yeah,
just a quick side, a tiny tangent.
yeah.
For me, Vinland Saga, the
Mm,
first I struggled to go through the first 3 episodes. It was
yeah.
really episode 4 that really did it for me. But yeah, that's all I'll
Wow.
say. That's all I'll say.
I don't know why you
That's
had
all
me
I'll
from the
say.
start, but yeah, to each his own.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but episode
Mhm.
3, I think, is where it really grabbed my attention. Like it's
Right.
it started to I gave it the chance on episode 1. It was interesting for me at episode 1, I will not lie. But episode 2 is where I started to see, okay, this is something I could really watch. Episode
Mm-hmm.
3 is where I'm saying, okay, for sure, this looks like it's going to be a good ride. So,
Mm-hmm.
and it started off with, well, obviously, the main thing for me was like getting getting to a point where um I wanted to see, and I think that was the main thing for most people. I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
see what the punishment would be for the main character um,
Mm.
getting involved in somebody else's fight. Because obviously,
Mm.
I mean, for a respectable tournament, they could not allow him to go without some sort of punishment.
Yeah,
But
hands free.
yeah, but knowing anime, there's no way they would take out the main character from the tournament. That would just have offsetted everything. So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it is possible like they could have written some way for things to go. To me, the only
Mm.
way they would have made him like come out of the tournament is if the tournament didn't have much significance and
Mm-hmm.
the whole shift had to the whole anime would have to shift to a whole
Shift
different
different. Mm-hmm.
scenario. So I was
Okay.
like, there's no way they're going to take him out of the tournament. So what will be
Mm-hmm.
his punishment? And I don't know, did you have the same feeling as me that you were actually waiting to see what kind of punishment they would give him, or was it just like you were just going with the flow?
Um, when they were punished, I just had a mind like it wasn't going to be anything, you know, too
Steve, yeah?
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just had a mind like they would. I know they were definitely not really going to disqualify him
Yeah.
because I mean they were building up the way they were building up that tournament from the start, the very
Mm.
start of the anime. I was like, nah, it wouldn't make sense for them to do that. So I knew there had to be some sort of thing, some sort of other way for him to probably prove himself and
Yeah.
remain in the tournament. Yeah,
Mm.
I just had a mind.
Okay,
Just a that.
interesting. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so continuing with that, you could see that, I mean, even from episode 2, or was it
Mm-hmm.
episode 1, you could see like there was something going on with the hierarchy where he mentioned something about fighting the guy with the, was it blonde hair?
Yeah, he really wanted to
Yeah,
fight the guy with the main character you're referring to.
yeah, the main character. So you
Yeah,
wanted to
he
fight the
really
guy with
wanted
the
to.
blonde hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you could see the hierarchy had something to do with it, and you could especially have seen that when they had to contain the the guy who was in the entanglement. But
Ah, wow, that's
yeah,
crazy.
the
That's
the
tough.
guy the guy was bounded
Mm-hmm.
when he was going crazy.
Right.
You could have seen the hierarchy. They were not just normal managers or of the tournament. They were
Mm-hmm.
actually they actually they they actually had you could see they were strong. So
Mm-hmm.
so from that point you could have seen something was wrong, especially with the way the guy was reacting. Like you could have seen something flowing out from him. Um
Mm-hmm. His aura.
yeah, the little pieces or the flashbacks they showed, you could see something was going on behind the scenes that didn't
Right.
seem quite normal. And episode
Mm-hmm.
3, I felt, was the one where things started to actually take shape. And
Mm-hmm.
you could see where well, for the first fight, um,
Uh-huh.
well, let me before I go on that topic with the first fight, you could have seen where there was more to the main character, and something was special about him, even with
Mm-hmm.
the strength of the other two characters that the story is focused on.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're really strong, but you could have seen there was just something special about the main character, and
Mm-hmm.
I think episode 3 proved that with um, one of the people in the hierarchy giving him that fruit to eat. Now, let me know
Yeah, the head.
when they gave him the fruits, did you suspect something was wrong with the fruits?
Definitely, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. Like first of all, bro, the anime already gave us enough hints about the same guy referring
Mm,
to the first thing we ever see is that same guy, marking an island
yeah.
from he marked an island
Mm,
from and he was in a completely different location. So we got a
yeah.
little hint of his power and his a glimpse of his motives.
Yeah.
So I had no doubt, bro. Like, mate would have not tried something.
Mm,
Plus, before the guy handed him the fruits,
yeah.
um, the guy went through the main character's records and he saw that that he was the grandson of XYZ, and
Yeah.
XYZ, he from his reaction, it
Mm,
looks like XYZ was the hottest. You check it, the hottest martial artist
yeah.
around.
Yeah.
So, and he was like, "Is he really the real?" And based on these little clues, I was like,
Mm.
"Ah, wow, bro!" And I was like, so. I felt the type of way when he just willingly accepted the fruits, like he didn't even
Yeah.
hesitate.
Like you
But
could
I was
see,
like,
like he is more like in the arena. He's like he's really good, but like he seems so
outside,
carefree outside
yeah,
of
and
fighting that like
too,
he just took the fruits too easy
yeah,
without
and
just suspecting something.
you're right, and he's naive. He's really
Yeah,
naive. Like
yeah, yeah,
outside of fighting, yeah, he's super naive. But
yeah.
yeah, that was
And
really really interesting.
yeah, and I guess like that's probably part of like his nature and probably why he just jumped into the fight without
Mm-hmm.
caring like what the repercussions would be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, I like the fact that you just brought in the stuff about his grandfather. Yes, that's
Mm-hmm.
definitely I think something they will build on in the future, and that was
Mm-hmm.
a very interesting part to me. So I'm
Right.
actually looking forward to see um
Mm-hmm.
what they will do with that and how they will go with that. But yeah, very interesting
Mm-hmm.
part for me. Now moving on to the the first fight with the girl. Very interesting for
Mm-hmm.
me. um, what I would say about this fight, I was to me okay. I don't want to sound sexist,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't expect too much from this fight. It's like,
But
yeah.
don't you misogynist fam.
I mean, like the
Mm,
girl already proved she was strong, and but like I don't know, maybe if it was her opponent that like
mm.
didn't really
Do
like
it for you.
yeah do it for me, and then when they started fighting, I'm like okay, the the opponent already dissed her wooden sword, and I'm like yeah, I mean it's a wooden sword for true. So what I'm thinking is okay, it's a wooden sword. That means that I mean it's not actually the wood that's doing anything. It's the way she's using her techniques, and later on in the
Mm-mm-mm.
fight she actually proved that. But one thing that I don't know, I don't want to say it didn't make sense, but it puzzled me a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you'll let me know whether that um you you interpreted that in that way as well. She was using a wooden sword, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the girl, she was a wrestler, right? The opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So it's like, okay, you're using your wooden sword, and what happened to the sword? Did it break, or was it out
No,
of reach?
it was out of reach. I think it's like I think the wrestler she hit her in a particular area and then she
Yeah.
dropped the sword. She
Yeah.
she lost her balance.
Yeah. So what was basically happening was the wrestler explained that pro wrestlers their
Train their
body is
body. Mm-hmm.
hardened and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay. So she loses the sword and she proceeds to attack with her hands. So I'm like, okay, you have a sword which should be harder than your hands. And
Mm-hmm.
then so if you can do that with your hands, why can't you do that with the sword? That was the bit of thing that confused me a bit. What's your
Mm-hmm.
take on that?
My take on that is like I feel like because in the when they gathered everybody to just start fighting in the arena, one of
Yeah,
the administrators said like he could clearly see that a lot of the contestants were holding back.
yeah,
So I felt like what she was trying to do was she was not trying to reveal everything at one time.
mm,
You understand?
yeah,
So like I feel like she didn't really want to she didn't do it with the sword as early,
mm,
because she didn't want to reveal her her technique, her techniques, because
yeah,
remember is that was just the what do you call that, that was not the semifinals. It was
mm,
some I forgot the what stage in the
yeah,
tournament they were, but it was still early. So when I yeah, so I wouldn't say like it wasn't making sense. I would just say, she didn't want to reveal everything at once. That's how I'd answer that
okay.
directly. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's why I
Yeah.
like to have different perspectives because different people, look at things in different ways,
Hmm.
and sometimes I miss something and you can pick it up.
And
So, yeah,
another thing too though is like, and I would say, when the wrestler said, they train their bodies,
yeah,
da 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 da.
mm,
I think when she did that attack with her hands, I think
yeah,
that just goes to show the sheer power of like her
mm,
technique.
yeah,
Do like to say like, okay, like that technique, like is like it just like it just goes to show like how strong she is, how strong like
mm,
that attack was. I
yeah,
think that was just a way the writers try to emphasize on how you know
powerful, yeah,
how powerful she actually is. So props to them
yeah,
for that. That's how I saw it at least.
mm, that's
So.
true. Now,
Mm,
moving on to um the second fight. I found the
mm,
second fight interesting as well. And
mm,
the episode 3, I think, even brought more into light. The guy, his main motivation what to enter the tournament was to help. Was that his friend or a family member? I think his friend, right?
yeah, it's a friend. I think it's a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his sick friend. I'm getting the vibe that it's well, no, let me not say that. But yeah, so that was his motivation, and
Mm,
it was interesting to see the guy with the book, his opponent, the techniques he used,
mm,
um,
mm,
his mantra, his way of fighting was
mm,
actually
mm,
interesting to see, and I was interested to see how um the guy will actually overcome the book guys his techniques, his his experience in fighting and stuff, and the fight was actually very interesting to me, and the way he overcame it using different techniques. It almost reminded me. I don't know if you got that vibe, but it almost reminded me of Lee from Naruto using the different gates.
Oh, you're referring to which guy, the hard hitter?
Yeah, that guy.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
that's interesting. Okay. Okay.
I thought of that when and then
Yeah, that makes sense, because he was like a
mm,
white tiger.
yeah,
It did sound similar. Yeah. It did sound similar, the techniques. Yeah. Okay.
and it was just interesting to me. One of the guys in the hierarchy was explaining how that guy won the fight. And yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Um, when I mean when the administrator commented on the fight,
Yeah.
um, boy, I really wish I rewatched that part, but
Mm,
um, mm, I don't know, bro. I have to look at that particular part again because I think
yeah.
I missed
I
what
mean, you
the
missed
guy
some.
was saying
Yeah, but so
because
what are your overall thoughts on that particular fight?
it was very interesting. Like I didn't think the guy with the bat. I didn't know he had powers. I thought he was just like a regular human being
Yeah.
because I was seeing like um one of his special techniques was
Mm,
like he had what are the name of these things? Like the thumbtacks, thumbtacks, right?
yeah.
I'm not sure if you saw it, but like there was a time he swung his bat and you could have seen
Mm,
like sharpnel shaped like thumbtacks.
yeah.
Like they just drilled through the hard hitter. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that one kind of had me starstruck because I didn't think like he had
Yeah.
like technique
Mm,
because the way
yeah.
he came on, he was like he has a book.
Mm,
It was pretty straightforward. He has a book. He knows
yeah.
all the techniques,
Mm,
and I definitely didn't think that. I thought all he had was just the knowledge
yeah.
and the power to back it up. But I didn't think he actually had special techniques. So I would say that really caught me off guard. It was a interesting surprise to me.
Yeah. And I like
But
that.
go ahead.
Yeah, I like the fact that it's just not focused on the main character, but you have different things going on that can actually hold your interest as well, and the fights were still really good. Yeah,
Definitely,
yeah, and
definitely.
so now moving on to the last fight of that episode, which was really interesting. Um, I would say I was really interested to see how things would go because there were a few things that held my interest. One thing was that the guy claimed he was stronger than the guy with the blonde hair. That was one. Um, two, I wondered like, okay, would they actually make the main character win? And if he won, would that just throw off the whole concept of these guys being super strong? So if neither of these things could happen, then how would they proceed with that fight? So that was my actual thoughts on that because yeah, so I would like to ask you, what did you think when he said he was actually stronger than the guy with the blonde
The brown guy.
hair?
I don't know. I feel like he was. My immediate thought was that I feel like he was just bluffing to
Yeah,
try to
being
get him to
defensive and
fight.
stuff.
Not even defensive, bro. I
Yeah.
just felt like the green guy, like he just wanted to, since the boss said, you're fighting the green guy,
Yeah.
and the main character being, his childish
Yeah.
Since having that childish demeanor, you know, he was really
Yeah.
fussy for the blonde guy, and I feel like
Yeah.
when the green character said he was stronger, I felt like he just said that, you know, just to
Mm.
get him, just get the
Yeah.
main character to fight him.
Mm.
You know, I feel that's just how I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that.
so so walk
Mm.
me through your thoughts on that particular fight.
Um, before I even do that.
Get into it. Yeah.
Oh, just hold on for a moment.
Yeah. So yes, guys, the show is actually heating up really, really, really going crazy right now. We are about to get into the meat of the matters. Um, and one of the best parts of the episode for me personally, maybe you might have had a better part of the episode that you preferred. If you do, hit me up in the comments and let us know what you actually thought of episode 3, and you can even mention what happened in the previous episodes. Yeah.
Mm,
So yeah, as you
right.
were saying,
Oh, sorry about that.
yeah,
What was I saying? Oh yeah, you asked me to walk you through what I. Oh yeah, before I even do
yeah,
that,
mm,
I just wanted to comment on what you said. You know, uh, when you when you said like you don't know if they were going to take her out or the character would have beaten the green guy.
yeah, mm,
For me, I don't know. Like in the like after I saw the fight with the bounded guy,
yeah.
I was like, bro, I really hope it's not an anime where it's
The
like the
guy is
main
just
character is
OP.
a one, yeah, like a one punch man.
Yeah,
I was kind of, no, because I was getting that kind of vibe already,
yeah,
because
yeah,
that one was already clapping all kind of failures in one instant, you know.
yeah,
So I was really like, boy, I really hope that is not another one punch man
yeah,
in the making there, you know. But
mm,
um, I will walk you through like um, for me it the first part where he actually knocked the green guy over.
yeah,
Um, unfortunately, that did not surprise me because my friend actually used that clip to draw me into the anime. He was like, "Look, tell me,
uh,
watch that little piece, watch that little piece, and
mm,
tell me what you think." And I was like, "You know what? I'll just give it a shot." So I saw that. I
yeah,
actually saw that already.
mm,
Um, then after that, after how easily the main character knocked him off, I was like, "Okay,
yeah.
fight is done. The main character won. Easy W." Easy dub, bro. And then all of a
Yeah,
sudden, I see the boss. I see they touch up. I see the main character touch up the
mm,
green character a little bit,
yeah.
and I see the green character get vexed. The boss just look up, and I see a whole demon like persona kind of thing just coming off the boss body with a whole was it an axe, bro? I don't even
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I don't. When I saw that, bro, I was like,
Yeah.
bro,
Like, what is going on here?
dog, I didn't even know what was going on, and like I took that moment to
Yeah,
observe the main character's reaction,
yeah,
and he was surprisingly calm. Like to
yeah.
me, I find his reaction like he
Like,
was like, "Whoa, like what's going on?" And then like he
yeah,
was just running around.
mm,
Personally, I thought he would have run off the stage or something, but he actually
yeah,
tried his best, you know, to at least
mm,
try and like, at least put a block on the on him,
yeah. And
you
if you
know.
actually looked at it,
Mm.
even well, I wouldn't say they had trouble, but the hierarchy had to try and restrain him, and
Restrain
they took
him.
a little while to restrain him as well.
Right.
So what
Yeah.
I'm wondering is whether all of them have that ability to go berserk like that.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't doubt. I wouldn't doubt it.
And
Honestly.
the next thing I'm wondering is whether the fruits have something to do with that, and could the fruits have awakened something in the main character to go to that other level as well.
Say it again. Say it again.
I was wondering the fruits they gave him. It
Oh.
seemed like a test to pass, and if he was
Mm,
strong
mm,
enough
mm.
or whatever, that he would be able to overcome that. And because he overcame that,
Mm, mm.
he got an extra boost of strength. That's what I'm thinking.
You think so? Okay. Because he did
But
mention something like that, you know.
yeah, so I'm
Mm.
wondering whether that would awaken some type of ability in him where he would be
Mm.
able to access um, what we saw from what we saw coming out from his opponent.
Okay. Okay.
So
I
I
see.
don't know. I'm just making speculation here right now, but
Mm, mm,
it's
mm.
just a few thoughts that just came into my mind
Mm,
while
mm, mm.
that whole thing was happening and while I was thinking about it after I watched the episode.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it was definitely an eye opener. Um, I thought that they couldn't just allow him to beat the guy, and I guess that
Mhm.
was their way of making that happen.
Okay. Keeping it interesting.
Without um disgracing the main character as well.
All right.
So now that that has happened, it kind of opened a can of worms in terms of okay, how do we explain this? Where do we go from here?
Right. Right.
And
Right.
um, it also going through the three episodes. I guess we spoke about this off air as well, where you
Mm.
mentioned that the well, what they call them the healing process is
Mm.
not
The
infinitely.
nanobots.
Yeah, the nanobots, they're not magic. They can't
Right.
just heal everything completely. Which
Mm.
I guess we got the I can't find the word right now, but we
What's
thought
that?
I guess we thought that at least they would anything that happened they would just be
You
able
know,
to
they'll be able to
heal,
recover.
yeah,
Right. Right.
recover
Right.
from it. But
Yeah, that's how they sold it.
yeah, so I guess what it's basically saying is that it's not magic, and there is a certain limit to how far
To
it
what?
can go, and I'm
Right. Right. Right.
guessing basically on like warrior ethics.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Usually you wouldn't go that far that it wouldn't be able to heal a person. So I'm guessing that's
Mm-mm.
why they explain it like that. But then with people going overboard, then you will get situations happening where you might have some permanent damage.
Mm-mm.
Another thing we mentioned off air that I think we should mention in the podcast as well is um, the fact that there is a lot of brutality, and it is something that can attract people. It is something that can turn off certain people. So
Mm-hmm.
watching, getting introduced, being 3 episodes deep in it. Let me know how did you respond to it when you actually saw the first act of brutality in that show?
Mm. Boy, that one was for me. Down, I as we mentioned of for me, I
Yeah,
find like the brutality in that one.
yeah,
It was to me. I find it
yeah,
was a bit more gruesome than what we saw in Vinland Saga.
yeah,
Only because I would only say that only because I feel like um death by fists, or
yeah.
death by your elbow, whatever, heel,
Mm,
or by a body part is
yeah,
way more painful and slower than death by a sword. That's how I
True.
saw it.
True.
Because I mean, if I gouge your eye with a sword, the sword is sharp. As the
Yeah.
sword is sharp already. You know,
Mm.
there's no problem. You know, sliding the blade in your skull and out, right?
Yeah.
But you mean to tell me, bro, if I gouge your eyes with my heel, the heel of my foot, and the heel of my, bruh, the heel of my foot is like
Is
the thing is not
a
sharp, bruh.
blunt object. It's not hard
Yeah,
either.
exactly. It's not hard. Exactly. So for me, when the bounded guy did that to the martial artist, I was like,
Yeah.
ah, bro, that was dirty, bro. Like I actually, I had to step back.
Yeah.
I had to, well, not step back, but I was not expecting that. I was not expecting such gruesome
Brutality.
behavior.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like it even escalated to a point where like he was basically demolishing a dead horse, bro. Like
Yeah.
he was already
It was
down.
like overkill, you know.
He was there. It for me, I would even go beyond overkill because the boss
Mm.
was he was down, like he was down already, and
Yeah.
he unbounded his second arm, like his second hand,
Yeah. That was
and he was
like too
honestly,
much.
I was well, not hoping, but
Yeah.
I thought he was actually going to rip his arms off, bro. Do a whole fatality
Yeah. You know,
on this stage.
it's funny that you mentioned that because I actually, well, I wouldn't say I was hoping, but like I was saying, I would say that I was kind of expecting him to do it
Expecting,
because of
yeah,
the way things were going.
going already
Yeah,
exactly.
but it kind of actually made sense that the main character would step in before that happened.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, but
You
that
know,
was.
I really
Mm.
wanted to see them. I kind of wanted, not really wanted, let's say really wanted
Yeah.
them saying the obvious thing that I'm a psychopath. But like I was curious to see like, okay, they ripped his arms
Mm.
off.
Yeah.
Let me see what then these nanobots are going to do. How are the nanobots going
Oh,
to
that
play
never
out?
even came to my head.
Yeah, that really it came to mind. I was like, okay,
Mm.
let me see how powerful the bots
Mm.
are because one of the main characters, the hard hitter, he
Yeah.
mentioned, you know, them having that kind of technology, and you know, basically him saying that
Yeah.
implied to me that, you know, like he would have probably tried to have the administrators use that technology to save his friend.
Oh,
So
yeah. I didn't
you
see that.
understand? You
Yeah.
didn't catch that, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't catch
Because he
that.
was, yeah, because remember after the first round
Yeah.
where they had like this sort of battle royale, he at the end
Mm.
of all that, at the end of the episode when he was going home, he looked at his wrist with the band
Yeah.
and it shows the stats, and he was
Mm.
saying, you know, he was saying like, you know, if the tournament has that type of technology, maybe
Mm.
just maybe they could probably use that to heal his friend.
Yeah,
You
because
know, so
since they allow you one wish, then I guess he would
right,
probably make
exactly.
that wish to heal his friend. Yeah, that makes
Heal
sense.
his
That
friend.
makes sense.
So I was really looking to see like, okay, let's see how far can these nanobots really go, because
Yeah,
it already looked like it was already going out of hand, and like not even the administrators saw it fit to stop the fight.
that's true. I guess
So
they're really not going to stop the fight unless although the referee really looked like he was like in, I think the fight with the martial artist guy, he really looked like he was trying to get the guy to give up. But I guess they're really not going to stop it, maybe unless, I wonder if they would have actually allowed the guy to kill him. I don't know if they would have gone that
I
far.
wonder. Nah, I well, I don't know.
Yeah.
They look like the head of the administration. He looks really very sinister.
Yeah.
So I'm not even surprised, bro. I'm not even surprised that this man would be on sort of thing. And you know what another thing that reminds me of like that whole squad. I
Mm.
instantly think of like when I look at
Akame
them.
ga Kill.
Yes, bro. I instantly thought of a Kamigaki. Like it was so. I'm really eager to see the rest of the uniques. Honestly,
Yeah.
they're giving me a Kamigaki vibes as well as Seven
Mm.
Deadly Sins vibes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting. That's really interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like very interesting to see how that played out. Can't wait to see
Mm-hmm.
the
The
next
fourth episode.
episode.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping it's not a filler.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, I'm getting the vibes that there won't be any fillers.
You think so?
I don't want to put my hand in fire for it.
Okay.
Maybe what have I been watching so far? Maybe it's because of what I've been watching so far. That I
Uh,
haven't been running into fillers, so I'm almost not accustomed to fillers as much as before again. So maybe that's
okay.
why I'm making a statement like that. But
Mm,
I have a feeling that there won't be any fillers.
okay.
Um, but we will see what happens. Um, and I
Mm.
like the fact that I guess there is like a bit of humor in it as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't know how far they will go with
The humor?
not a humor, but will they actually do something with the main character and the girl? I don't know. It doesn't look like it so far because the main character looks totally clueless. But I guess we will see. Um,
When you when you say the main character and like you're talking about like a relationship or something?
yeah, like a relationship or like a
Oh, okay.
flirtatious kind of thing
Well,
going on.
it's
I don't know.
well, I guess it's too early. It's too early to tell.
Yeah,
For
it's
me,
too
for
early.
me, too
Yeah,
early.
but yeah,
You know,
and that's
so
that's that's a great thing. It's just it's nice to have something a bit mysterious. Well, not that mysterious, but like thinking of okay, where will this go from here? So I like the fact that they haven't gone like typical hero save me route
mm-hmm.
or you actually waiting to see okay where things will play out and
Mm-hmm.
there's a bit of mysterious things leading on. Yeah, so I'm actually really excited to see where episode 4 will lead and you know
Mm-hmm.
see where it goes from here. So any
Mm.
final thoughts?
My final thought
Yeah.
is I'll just give my theory on what's going to
Mm,
happen and what
yeah.
I think of the entire tournament.
Mm,
Personally, I feel like um, the tournament, that's just a
yeah.
theory of mine.
Mm,
I feel like the tournament is like, since there's all that fighting going on, I feel like with all these warriors fighting in one particular sport, I feel like
mm,
that's generating some kind of power, and the administrators are harnessing that power, as well as the cult we saw a little flash of.
mm,
I think it was the beginning of episode 3.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel that's what I feel so far. That's just a good feeling, but I could be wrong.
Now, as you mentioned that, I don't know if I'm mistaken, but to me, I can remember they were saying like there was like certain heroes from that particular group will move on to fight in the next round. So I don't know if I'm confused as to thinking that they will take a batch and there's actually another tournament that they have to go to, or is like another part of the tournament like
Mm.
maybe like we have the batch that playing there and there's like apart from
Another
the
one.
fights we're seeing there's another one somewhere and
Yeah,
these
I think there's another one. Yeah.
okay. I just wanted to make sure that I'm not confused about it because there was so
Mm.
much going on that sometimes you actually forget certain things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would be interested to see what new people they would bring to the the tournament because
Yeah,
and it
as
kind
it
of
could
makes
be.
sense because most of the main people I think most of the main
Mm.
people we've seen from the tournament so far has they've already fought, so maybe they will be going to like some new characters that we haven't seen as yet.
Right, right.
Yeah, so
To move up the ranks.
yeah, so just a bit of thing, just some things that came to my mind as you were talking about that. So yeah, I'm really interested in to seeing that, and hopefully it keeps on getting hotter. It keeps the momentum up, and I hope this anime finishes off with a bang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have the
So
same views as well.
yeah. So just wrapping up. Thank you for showing up tonight
Yeah, no
to
problem,
have
bro.
this
Yeah, no problem, broski.
conversation.
Mm.
We will be seeing you next Thursday.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
So
Let's hope.
yeah.
Mm.
So thanks again for joining. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next Thursday.
Okay.
Subscribe, like the video, and
Yeah.
we're out.
All right.